me a pen. Never mind. You're good.
At this time, in honor of America, we ask you to please stand and gentlemen remove your hats for the flag of our national anthem. This time, I'd like to announce the starting five for the Milton-Union Lady Bulldogs. Starting guard, 5'7", sophomore, number 3, Kate.
I'm good. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Miami East High School for today's girls basketball matchup between your Milton-Union Bulldogs and the home team Miami East Vikings. I am Rusty Burner. I will be giving you the play-by-play and the color commentary as I'm going solo today. For today's early season TRC matchup between two of the top teams and probably two of the favorites here in our conference, between Miami East and Milton-Union. Both return a lot of players from last year. And as I said, going solo, so I'm trying to coordinate stats and keep this all together, so bear with me. As the Miami East Vikings starting lineup is getting announced currently on the season, Miami East is 4-0, 2-0 in conference. Probably the biggest win on their resume is they defeated Fort Laramie, perennial Division IV powerhouse in the state of Ohio. The Dogs sit at 3-0, 1-0 in conference play, and coming off a big road win at Troy Christian on Thursday night, and they've also defeated Dixie, which was a game that they lost last year. So coaching the Bulldogs will be Coach Katie Roos, and the Vikings is Coach Kevin Evans, both veteran coaches. So this will be an exciting game here. The starters for, get our numbers are not correct in the program or up on the board. Vikings win the tip. Pass over to number 14, off the mark, and here comes the Lady Bulldogs in transition. Burbridge up to Kopp, who tries a corner pocket pass that's picked off. Starting for the Bulldogs today, it's going to be both Broomballs, Jenna and Shannon. Number 14, number 20, Ava Burbridge, senior, number 12. Freshman Sophie Lehman, number 22, and sophomore Kate Kopp, number 3. The Vikings start off in their patented 1-2-2 zone. It's kind of been a staple in the boys and girls program for probably about 30 to 40 years. Ava there with one just going right off her foot. Starting for the Vikings, Number 11, Jacqueline Cadle. Number 13, Cameron Francis. Number 14, Logan Phillips. Number 21, Maren Gross. And number 40, Micaiah Musselman. Dogs starting off in a 1-2-2 zone as well, so both teams in a familiar defense. 3 ball is just off the mark. The broom ball corrals it. One of the strengths for Miami East is their length. Dogs work the ball around the perimeter as Broomball and Lehman are looking to work the high post, low post area. Got a jump ball tie up that's going to go, should stay in Milton-Union's possession. Ball will be taken out on the baseline. Enters it back into Kopp. Dribbles baseline, picks up her dribble. Dogs continue to work, show a little bit of patience. We got a turnover there. Kate just got a little excited, left her feet, and they're able to force the travel there. Look at stats. Cameron Francis is leading the Vikings in scoring. She's number 13, averaging 10 points a game. One of the strengths the Dogs are going to look to do is really get out in transition. Another turnover there. Coach Roos doesn't like what she's seeing on the offensive end. She's going to call a timeout. And, you know, sometimes it's early on the road. Get that timeout early. Get the girls settled down. You know, Kate being a sophomore, big game here. Just get herself settled in and kind of looking at what she's doing and not forcing the action. So, like I said, for the Vikings, Cameron Francis is at 10 points a game. Musselman is at 9.5. Katie Paulus, who comes off the bench, 7.8. Maren Gross is at 7.3. So very balanced. And then Logan Phillips is at 7 points per game. So you've got 4 to 5 girls that are all between 7 and just under 11 points per game. Again, Dogs trying to take things away. Both teams been a little sluggish offensively. 3-ball corner pocket, no good. Ava with a big rebound. Ava Burbridge had 14 rebounds the other night toward Christian, which is an incredible stat for anybody, let alone a guard. East is very aware of Burbridge and Jenna Broomball. Dogs really looking to work high post. Shannon working the high post, elbow to elbow. Lehman's working short corner to short corner. And again, this is where Miami East length really can play in, as they can cover a lot of ground in this zone. Jenna for 3, just off the mark. Here comes Maren Gross, who's pushing in transition. Ball gets worked around. Coach Evans barking out his orders. Again, working the high-low. Working the ball around the perimeter. Flashing, 3-ball, no good. Offensive rebound by Gross. And she is fouled in the act of shooting. Foul's going to be on Sophie Lehman.
Shooting 2, number 21, Maren Gross. Checking in for the Vikings, number 5, Katie Paulus.
And there's Paulus checking in, number 5. She is a 5'10" junior. One of 2 free throws goes, and the Vikings hold a 3-0 lead with 4:18 left in the first quarter. Miami's really keeping the Bulldogs on the perimeter. A turnover. Gonna push in transition. Cato corrals it. Over to Francis for three, no good. Offensive rebound by Musselman. She just stepped on the line there. You can tell both teams coming out and kind of feeling each other out as far as what each other's doing. I think most of them know, but getting a feel for this year's version of player personnel. Shannon with a good interior pass. It's one of the first touches that we've gotten into the post. He's keeping everything on the perimeter. Good skip pass, just not enough air, another turnover. This Vikings defense is really testing the Bulldogs' patience. There's a shot in the corner. Maren Gross averaging 7.3. Gives the Vikings an early 5-0 lead. 3:10 left in the first quarter. And this is probably what Miami East is wanting. They want to play this slow game. We want to get the ball in the post. There's another turnover. Gross is going to go coast to coast, turns and throws it back. Musselman to the corner for Paulus, and that's good for three. 8-0 Vikings. Dogs again, working the ball around the perimeter. Vikings starting to extend their pressure a little bit. Jenna resets. Dogs are going into a 1-3-1 look. The high post with Shannon. Run Jenna to the corner. Again, they're really looking for that high post touch. Into Shannon, there she goes. Shannon gets it, kicks it back out for Ava. Block shot by Musselman. Excuse me, not Musselman, that would be Francis.
And number 14, Logan Phillips.
In for the Mara Fine, comes in for the East. Kinsey Shortridge checks in for the Dogs for Kate Kopp. One of the keys here going against these zones is getting the ball into the middle of the zone, and you can see both teams are making a very concerned effort to get the ball in the middle of the zone, and East has been a little bit more successful, but the score is not indicative of this. Has been a pretty balanced game. It's just East has knocked down gotten a couple extra looks. Here go the Dogs in transition. This is where they really want to go. They want to beat that zone down the floor. Kick ball there by Paulus, and again, that's, the East kids are taught that if they can stop transition, and this is what they want. They want this half-court game, slow, methodical, get out and run when they can. They just want to prevent us from running. Shortridge on the right wing, picks up her dribble, reverses it to Burbridge. Burbridge is looking, evaluating, and another turnover. This is where, the girls got to settle in here, and they're being a little impatient against this zone. This is a good zone. They need to be patient in the fact of waiting for the shot they want, which is very tough to do. You can see right now we're really focusing on corner three again by Paulus. Coach Roos going to come over and talk about it. Paulus hits a corner three and puts the Vikings up 11-0. And, looking at that possession, that possession broke down to start just from the standpoint of the ball went into the high post, which condensed the defense. The high post made a pass to the short corner on the baseline, and then they were able to skip to a three. And that's, what the Dogs are trying to do, and it's what Miami East is trying to do, and Miami East has settled in a little bit. So two of the top teams, both in the TRC play home and away, so Miami East will have to come to Milton-Union. At some point this season, I don't have that in front of me right now. Get you some boys scores from last night here shortly. We've got a halftime interview with a former Bulldog who's a current collegiate athlete. I'll let you try to figure out who that might be. Dogs come out. East is really widening this zone, and they're really sinking that top middle girl in to take care of, and that's where they want. Kinsey gets on the court. Just need one to go in. Just need one to go in and get our girls going. And sometimes when you're on the road, you see that first bucket. And right there, they're able to get. Jenny gets in the lane, and there we go. First bucket, 30 seconds to go in the quarter. It's 11-2. And now we got a steal by Jenna almost. We were just talking about that before the game. Is the ball going through the hoop is such a huge thing in this game. It's obviously the main goal, but from a confidence standpoint, and it cures a lot of things. Disguises bad play sometimes, and also you could be playing good basketball, the ball's not going through the hoop, you feel like everything's wrong. Good defense here by the Dogs, about 1.4 seconds left. Ava's going to catch the ball, didn't get a shot off, and the first quarter ends 11-2 in favor of the Vikings. Looks like Musselman and Cadle are going to check back into the game, as well as Kate Kopp. Not sure at this point who they're checking in for, but we'll find out here in a minute. In boys action last night, the Northridge Polar Bears defeated the Miami East Vikings 55-51. Troy Christian defeated Covington 87-54. And Lehman Catholic defeated our Bulldogs 57-26. I don't have that fourth score in here, but I can tell you that through word of mouth, Riverside defeated Bethel. I believe it was a one-point game, but I don't want to be quoted on that. So early on, probably the surprise score a little bit to people is Northridge over Miami East, but Northridge returns a lot of really good players, and early in the season you really just don't know what you got, and the league is showing it's very strong with some really good teams we'll talk about here at the next dead ball. Quarter two starts for the Bulldogs. Burbridge, Shortridge, Broomball, and Kopp. Dogs are in their 1-2-2, and it creates another turnover. I don't have the stats in front of me, but both teams are turning the ball over quite a bit against these pretty stout 1-2-2 zones. Dogs have to be pleased from that standpoint. We talked about the ball going through the hoop. Defense can also be the great neutralizer. If you're not playing great offense, you can keep yourself in the game by playing good defense. Dogs look like they're overloading. Burbridge is going to hit Shannon, who just pops out for the reversal. Back to Burbridge. She hits Broomball, who splits the defense and throws up a little runner just off the mark. A little hard for a bank shot. East is now pushing in transition. Cross-court skip. And missed shot there by Paulus. Here comes Burbridge pushing hard, and East stops them in transition. And a turnover there as Ava tried to hit Kate Kopp, and the width of that zone and length and reach forced an errant pass. Fine sets the offense. Shortridge is at the top of the 1-2-2, covering a lot of ground there. There's Cato in the corner, and it's good.
Number 11, Jacqueline Cato for 3.
14-2 early. Second quarter, 6:30 to go. Jenna lost her dribble just a little bit. She's going to take a deep three. No good. Here comes Cato, pushing in transition. Burbridge comes over. Works the ball around the perimeter, and they're looking to get the ball inside. High-low. Get through a cutter. Musselman from Cato. 16-2. A hustle play. Good hustle play there by East.
Number 13, Cameron Francis.
Lehman's going to check back into the game for Shortridge. Good minutes there for Kinsey.
Bulldog basketball.
And, you know, the injury to Rachel Jacobs has forced some girls to step up. Shortridge and Lehman specifically, and they've done a nice job. And obviously the Dogs are missing Rachel, but anytime you have an injury, you just have to move on and gather yourself. And the boys' side of it spoke on it last year with Blake's injury, and the girls are dealing with it. But right now, the girls got to settle in here and let the first part of this game kind of sink behind it and just attack. There's Gross on an open layup. Good for two off Burbridge's turnover. Dogs got to settle in. There's the ball in the high post. Kick out. Boom. That's what we talked about, that high post touch there to Shannon. Getting the ball into her. She's able to kick out for Ava for a three. Game's 18-5 at this point. Miami East is going to be patient. Coach Evans barking out his orders, what he wants. Got high post action. They're flashing. Really looking the ball to get the ball into the post. Ball swings over. Missed three, rebounded by Cato. Tried to throw it off of Burbridge. She did a great job of that. The problem was when it finally went back out of bounds, it hit Cato. So just had to get out of her own way there. Good hustle play. 18-5, 4:10 left in the second quarter and the half. East is really cheating on that ball reversal. Dogs are passing around the perimeter. They got to be really precise of when they get the ball into Shannon. Shannon's got to keep working, get herself open, and then on the reversal, they got to look to drive the ball. There we go. Oh, there's some good movement. Oh, Shannon from three, just off. Kate, looks like Phillips comes up with it. She pushes ahead to Cato, who skips it to Gross. Gross from the corner, no good. Musselman with the O board. She's double and triple team, throws it up, no good. Ball takes a weird bounce off the padding. Musselman gets another rebound, and she's going to get fouled by Shannon. It's an unfortunate situation there with East had kind of retreated from the rebound, and ball hits that foam padding, and instead of coming straight down, it kicks about 8 feet, 10 feet to where Musselman realized she can get a hand on it and get to it. She misses the first shot here. She's going to have a second one. 3:11 left in the half. 18-5, Miami East. This one's up and good, 19-5. Broomball brings it across the timeline, enters it to Burbridge, runs same corner side. Ball's reversed over to Cobb, quickly to Burbridge, but a deflection. Burbridge from 3, and it's good. 19-8. The Truce has got to be preaching to girls. Let's get this thing to single digits for the half, which they definitely can. Dogs are backing off, really protecting that inside game of Miami East. Ball gets thrown over the top, and Shannon got pinned on the high side there, and they made a nice pass, entry pass to Musselman. Both teams seeming to figure out each other's movements here a little bit. East really working that perimeter area. It's really susceptible at times on the baseline, but their length on that back end really gives people problems once it goes there. Shannon from 3 again, just off. Lehman, Sophie's able to save it, but into a Miami East player. Here comes Phillips pushing in transition, gets all the way to the free throw line. No good. Lehman with the rebound. Pushes to Broomball, who's got transition, and she's going all the way. He's going to call that on the floor. And I probably would have given that a little bit of an argument. I think that's one of the toughest things to call in the high school game is if it's a shooting foul, and the rule of thumb is if they're gathering into a shot, and that's where I think you've got the gray area. What's it considered gathering? Baseline, Ava throws into Jenna. Ball's reversed. Ava with another good look. Kind of banks off there. Fine's going to push in transition. Ball gets stopped. She hits Paulus. Paulus got the ball at the top of the key over to Fine. Up top to Francis. Over to Paulus. Paulus is surveying. Ball gets over to Francis. Ball goes into Musselman. Back out to Paulus for 3. No good. Good box out by Ava. And she's going to get a call there on Gross. Really nice box out there by Ava. It's the push over the back, and
number 14, Logan Phillips.
Phillips is going to check in for Gross. So here we go, 21-8, just under a minute to go in the half. Dogs have seemingly settled in a little bit. Starting to see where they can move the ball and where they can't. Double dribble there by Kate. I think she just kind of went to move the ball and it slipped, and some officials are going to call that. Some are going to say it was an unintentional bobble. Probably right either way. East is probably going to be pretty patient here. 36 seconds. They don't want to give us another possession to possibly cut it to single digits. Jenna's going to come out and little bit of a ticky-tack there. Ball's entered in, over to Fine, who's going to take the shot, and it's good. 23-8, Miami East. Jenna's dribbling, and there's the kick. Miami East is, as long as I can remember, boys and girls. Boys don't as much anymore, but patented 1-2-2 and widen out and get a foot on it, get a hand on it, get anything on it to disrupt their offense. And it goes back to a little bit of with Jenna. Block shot there by Phillips. Excuse me, Francis. And then Jenna knocked it out of bounds. That goes back to the Alan Mack days in the mid-'80s when he took over the boys program here. Fine for 3, no good. So we're going to stop here at the half. 23-8. Unofficially, well, I can go officially because of the scoreboard. Burbridge leads the Bulldogs with 6. Jenna's got 2. For the Vikings, Musselman's got 7. And their next leading scorer is Paulus with 6. So we are going to have a little halftime entertainment from, it looks like the Lady Mini Vikings or Youth Vikings, or I'm not really sure what they're called. And I'm going to get my my halftime person up here. You may have forgotten, but let's see if we can get, trying to, I got his attention. So he's coming up here, and he's always nervous about talking with me in general, but now we're going to be on the air.
Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Blake Broomball, who's joining us today in the booth.
In the booth, yeah.
So Blake, former Bulldog great, now is just finished his first collegiate season as a college football player at Indiana Wesleyan. So Blake, tell us a little bit about your season as far as how it went.
I wasn't playing, so they switched me to wide receiver, and then I played about halfway through the season.
So you were recruited as a defensive player, started the season as a defensive player.
Yep.
And then ended up on the offensive end. Tell us a little bit, how did that, I hear there's a story behind this.
Is there?
I've heard the story. Do you know the story?
I don't think so. Can you tell me?
Okay, well, you tell me if I'm wrong.
All right.
So supposedly Blake was playing scout team wide receiver.
Oh yeah.
You do know the story.
I do know the story.
Okay. Blake was playing scout team wide receiver.
Wait, can I add it?
Can you? Yeah, it's your story. You tell it, man.
Scout team wide receiver is the most fun you'll ever have in your life. You don't got to go to meetings. You just show up and just
show up and play.
Oh, it's great.
Okay. So he's just out there being Blake, right? Because we all know what kind of a talent he was as with the ball in his hands. And next thing you know, the offensive coordinator goes, "Hey, I want him." And the defensive coach said no, which made no sense because he wasn't playing at the time. And finally, the head coach stepped in and said, if you're not going to play him on defense, offense can have him.
No. Head coach said that it's up to the defensive coach. And the defensive coach was getting mad because their offense sucked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so finally.
So he finally gave in. And am I wrong saying from that point you were the second leading receiver on the team?
Potentially.
Or second or third?
Yeah.
Started a couple games.
Every game.
Started every game. Had two touchdown catches, correct?
Yeah.
2 or 3?
2.
2?
Should have been more.
Should have been more. That's okay.
It is okay.
So, anyways, pretty good story. So tell us about what's the difference between college football and high school football as far as like, just give us a couple things.
You go there and you think you're pretty good, and then everybody else is exactly the same or better.
Okay.
So everybody you talk to, you're like, oh, you know what were you like in track, what, like in basketball? And like, oh, you know, I was the 5th in the nation for long jump my senior year, stuff like that. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
You're like, dang, I'm not close to you.
Everybody's a dude.
Everybody's a dude.
Okay. So that was an adjustment.
It was an adjustment.
An adjustment for your ego, probably a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
But realize you're going to really have to work, right? How are the academics there at Indiana Wesleyan? Are they pretty serious?
They're serious, but it's almost like, I don't want to say like high school, but the professors know you pretty well.
Okay.
Like
so small classes.
Yes. Like
okay.
20, 25.
Okay. Nice.
So
nice.
Yep.
Big campus, small campus?
Small, I guess.
Small.
Small.
Everything's pretty good walking distance.
I drive.
Okay.
Because I don't like to walk anywhere. So.
Okay.
But yes, if you want to walk, it's maybe like a 10-minute walk from side to side. So.
And your major is?
Civil engineering.
Civil engineering. I know everybody's surprised at that.
Funny guy.
The plan is that you and your brother are coming back to run the business, or is that pretty accurate?
I'd say that's accurate.
I'd say it's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, good. And you're home. Are you home on Christmas break now?
Nope, I have finals Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Okay.
So, and the finals there, at least for me, it's just like, so like throughout the semester, you just have like certain tests over certain subjects.
Yeah.
So they basically were just taking a test over the last subject in a lot of the classes.
So it's not a final that's over everything from the semester.
No, only in like one class.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's nice.
Yep.
You get to come back and.
Well, 2 classes actually, but yeah.
You get to come back and watch a few Bulldogs play today. I won't be specific.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were at the boys' game last night. How was that being at the boys' game?
It was fun.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You miss it a lot, but it was
fun.
You?
Okay. Well, I can tell you, I miss you being out there with us.
Yeah.
But one of the fun parts you and I were talking about is your little brother.
Yeah.
Your little brother's playing a little bit of varsity, so.
Surprised me.
I thought I was going to have to take a year off of not having a broom ball, but apparently I decided that I wasn't going to take that year off from having a broom ball. He's done a nice job. What's kind of neat is how different you guys are.
What do you mean?
You're just different players.
Oh yeah.
And even your oldest. I've been able to coach all 3 of you boys, and you're all very different in the way you play.
It's true.
Levi's very quiet.
He's quiet?
Well, he is right now. He's a little freshman.
Gotcha.
And he's a little smaller than everybody else. You weren't. But he's doing a nice job. So, so you got to go back for finals, and then you come back for your break. How long is your break?
It's 3 weeks. So the 17th, like that weekend to like January 9th or something like that.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yep.
That's kind of. Are you got any plans over that, or are you going to come back?
I'm going out to Colorado. Me and my brother, my mom are. So.
Yep. See Aunt Cheryl?
No, we're going snowboarding.
Does she live? But Aunt Cheryl lives out there.
Denver, but I don't know if we'll stop by.
Okay.
They're actually back right now.
Okay. So you're just going out there to ski.
Yep.
Pretty awesome out there to ski.
It's pretty awesome to ski.
They've got some pretty good mountains.
They do. Surprisingly.
I've heard it's a little mountainous out there.
It is just a little bit. Yeah.
What kind of mountains are out there?
Well, you ever heard of the Rocky Mountains?
Yeah. Is that them?
Yeah, it's them.
Okay.
All the way through Canada.
All the way through Canada. That's a lot of mountains.
There's a lot of mountains.
Well, good. All right. Well, I know this has been torture. You've had to sit here and get grilled on YouTube on WMPA, and
yeah.
I know you guys at home coaching Blake. Blake does not like being put on the spot. Is that a fair?
I'd say it's fair, yeah.
So when I texted him this morning and said, "Hey, would you like to be our halftime? Are you going to be at the game?" Yeah. And if you would have known that's what I was going to ask, you probably would have said, "I'm not going to be there."
No.
It's all right. We would have pulled Levi up here.
Hey, that would work.
So what are the girls? What's your assessment of the first half, real quick? What do we need to do?
All right, get the ball in the paint, kick it out, let the shooter shoot, and also get in the paint, then drop, and like pass it back down to the block.
Okay.
Easy buckets. And then I forgot the name, but pass it from like one side to the other.
Reverse?
No, this is
swing it.
No, just
skip.
Skip pass.
Skip
yes.
pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
Okay.
It's embarrassing.
Well, that's okay. You've been away from it, so well, good. Good insight, and you'll feel comforted knowing that that's what I've been up here saying.
Oh, okay.
Get the ball inside, look to drive it, kick it, skip the ball.
Yep.
So you learned well for 4 years how to attack the zone.
That's good.
Right?
That's good.
That was all assistant coaching. It was nothing from me.
Nope. All Grudich and Fulton.
That's right. Grudich, Fulton, Sarver, Brackman, all those guys. So, all right, Blake. Well, get out of here. Go sit down there with your cousins, and I'll talk at you.
All right. I'll see you.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're Blake Broomball, 1,000-point scorer, future Hall of Famer at Milton-Union. He's probably a guy that you know, I was very fortunate to coach, but so many things. He's probably a guy that when you start talking about the greatest athletes in Milton history, I think he's probably at the top of that list or really, really close. Just what he was able to accomplish in 3 different sports, not just 1 or 2, but 3. So here we go, starting the second half, 23-8. In favor of the home team Vikings. Bulldogs are going to pass the ball around the perimeter, and again, you know, talking about getting the ball on the high post, it looks like Kate stepped on the sideline there. The ball's going to get turned over to the Vikings. And it looks like the Dogs are coming out in man-to-man. And that creates a turnover. So there's an adjustment there that Milton-Union is coming out in man-to-man and going to try to throw off the Vikings' offensive strategy there. Jenna's looking for a drive lane over to Ava on the left wing. Going to pass the ball to Shannon, who's going to look to reverse to Kate, but again, Kate Old knows that angle, and she's going to take away that pass, or at least not make that pass easy. Jenna, I think half the crowd wanted a foul. I think half the crowd wanted a foul on Jenna for a push off, and the Bulldog faithful wanted a block on Francis for getting into her body. And here comes Miami East offense. They're going to work high-low, and they get the high-low dump there to Musselman, 25-8. And the ball is, looks like it was deflected, and then Kate, as she tried to gather it, dribbled it, and it hit the sideline. Another turnover. Jenna on the ball. They're going to go with a lob play over to Francis for 3. For Phillips, and it's good. Not the start that the Dogs are looking for. Start the second half. That's what makes this Miami East team so difficult. Is you got shooters and post players, and they're going to call a foul, I believe, on Phillips. Logan Phillips will pick up the foul. And again, this is a Miami East team who are going to get a run out here by Phillips. So Truce is going to get a timeout. As East jumps out to a very quick lead. At this point, Miami East defeated Fort Laramie at Fort Laramie, who I believe they are defending Division IV state champs. I can't remember. They're always there. No, they weren't. I take that back because Tri-Village won the Division IV girls. But they are a team that year in, year out is in the regional or winning the regional or go to state. So they defeated Fort Laramie at Fort Laramie. Also, they defeated Mechanicsburg, Northridge at Northridge, Lehman Catholic, and that is where they're at to have a 4-0 record. And this is a team who a year ago, we'll just get their record from a year ago. It was 19-6 last year and finished second in the league, and you know, trying to push themselves through to their first TRC championship in girls basketball. And they're extending their 1-2-2, very active. And again, when the ball goes to that corner, you've got Musselman and you got Phillips. Good shot there by Kate. Hit the rim about 11 times. Sophie Lehman, oh, good job. Sophie powers it up, gets fouled. I think with all the rule changes in basketball, I think if you have a shot that bounces on the rim 4 or more times, you should at least get a point. I really don't think that, but it's 30-8 right now. 5:08 left in the third quarter. Lehman's free throw is hard off the back of the rim. Second free throw to come. Off the back of the rim. Kate gets a touch on it, but they secure it, and here comes Cadle, pushing in transition. Up to Gross, over to Francis, to Phillips. Phillips to Cadle, to Gross in the corner. Dogs are back in their zone. Reversal, skip. Cadle for three, that's good. Cadle with a little bit too much body. And it looks like Paulus is going to check in for Phillips. Both teams playing a 7-person rotation, 7-girl rotation. Musselman gets a deflection. Looks like a jump ball. It's going to go to the Vikings.
Jump ball, Vikings ball.
4:25 left in the third. Jenna's going to come out. Vikings working the ball around the perimeter. Paulus from three, no good. Broomball with the rebound. Look to push. And you can just see that Miami East is a very, very concerned effort to get back in transition. Don't want to let Milton-Union run, and there's a touch. Paulus almost got there. Just out of her reach. And Fine's going to check in for Gross. Ball goes into Shannon, kick out for Kate. Back out to Jenna. First to Kate. Continue to work high-low. Trying to find the open spots in the zone. Ava for three, no good. Saves it and kicks it back to Musselman, who now has 11 to lead all scorers. Ball goes into high post with Shannon. And then they're going to call Jennifer traveling.
Checking in for the Vikings, number 21, Aaron Gross, and number 14, Logan Phillips.
So here they go. Dogs back into their main offense, and a back cut there by Miami East. Gross with a layup, and 37-8 at this point. Dogs have not scored in this quarter. 2:18 left. Kate dribbles it off the leg. And, you know, one of the things right now that, you know, Coach Roos is going to be, you know, they still got to come to our place. And that's the part of that you just need to keep working and find something you're working on. Musselman then up and under, not up and under, just a drop step. And right now, that's you got to fight to forget the score here and just work on some things and keep trying to find an answer for this zone. Ball's deflected there by Fine. Oh, good over the top. Good idea. Sophie, good job there pinning the girl on the high side with no help on the backside and starting to look for that kind of stuff. Working the ball around the perimeter, getting some post touches now. That's a foul, and they've called it. It's going to be on Phillips.
Foul on number 14.
Looks like Cato's going to check into the game for Phillips. Broomball just off. Ball's going to get knocked out of bounds by Broomball. Bulldogs are going to come back, and looks like they're going to set into man. And the ball gets pushed up, and Shannon's going to pick up a foul for Musselman. He's caught the Bulldogs kind of sleeping there, not really getting back and set on defense. Musselman up and good. You can tell why she's a returning all-conference player. Ball's going to get deflected and out of bounds. Bulldog basketball. 1:07 left in the third quarter. 39-9 at this moment. Dogs are in their one of their man offenses, which sometimes, you know, running a man offense against the zone can kind of throw the zone off a little bit because it creates a lot of movement. The zone offenses are typically stand and pass, and Kate got a little excited there and left her feet to pass and didn't let go of the ball. 40-8, 22 seconds left in the third quarter.
Number 11, Jackson Field, for 2.
Jump from 3, that's no good. 42-8 in favor of the Vikings. And that was definitely a big advantage there in that quarter for the Vikings. Their zone has really started to show frustration in the Dogs, and you know, right now this is not a there's not a 34-point shot, so this is a moment of growth with Coach Roos and her team, and making sure that, you know, right now they're focusing on getting better with this. This Miami's team's going to have to come to Milton at some point, and continuing to fight. And that's a tough thing in high school sports, is when things aren't going your way, and the scoreboard's one of them, that you continue to battle. And, you know, right now you can see there's a whole lot more pep in the East girls' steps than what our girls are come out with. You know, and that's something, that's teenage athletes. And so starting the fourth quarter for the Bulldogs, going to be Shortridge, Jenna Broomball, Burbridge, Shannon Broomball, and Sophie Lehman. Dogs work things around the perimeter. A lot of movement here. Trying to drive it, pass, move, and find some openings in this zone, find some openings in the middle. Right now, East is taking away those cuts. There's the post touch. Inside out. Just off the mark. Shortridge, though. Oh. Gross misses the layup. There's a rare fast break opportunity. And a layup up for Broomball. That is the first break, fast break opportunity we have had today. And it's with 6:50 to go in the game. Shannon getting a touch on it. Shannon been given the task of guarding Musselman there in the post. Three's off the mark there for Paulus. Here comes Jenna pushing in transition. A little penetrate pitch. Ball gets worked around the perimeter. Ava looks to drive it. Nothing there. Jenna looks to drive it. Pitches out to Shortridge. She double dribbled. Phillips and Cadle both check back into the game for the Vikings, and 42-10 at this point. 6:06 left in the contest. And it's going to be fine for three. And it's good. 45-10. Ball's getting worked around the perimeter. Skip pass. Shortridge for three, no good. And East getting out transition, and not a lot, you know, not a lot we can do other than try to pick up our effort at this point. Rebound goes to, it's going to stay in Milton possession. Paulus is going to check in. 4:53 left in the game. We are in a running clock situation in high school basketball. When you're down 35 in the second half, the clock does not stop except for timeouts and injuries. But out of bounds, free throws. Only way to turn that clock off is for the Dogs to get the game under 30. So Coach Evans is going to clear his bench. And for them, number 22, Grace Gooden, number 12, Jenna Taylor, and number 4, Kylie Gentis. Get a deflection there. 4 minutes left, 47-10. Dogs will suffer their first loss of the season and their first TRC defeat. Miami East is going to move to 5-0, 3-0 in the TRC. And again, these teams will meet again. I believe it'll be in January. So it's one thing you hope is you have some growth and figure some things out. And I'm sure that Coach Roos and her staff will do that. And you see a totally different game. And Shannon, first open look for Shannon all day. Jenna gets in there, crashing. There's a whole lot of bodies on the floor. Jump ball will go to Miami East. 3 minutes left in the game. Dogs playing man-to-man defense, putting pressure. Ball gets reversed. East running their offense and being very patient. Ball gets knocked out of bounds. It's going to stay. It's going to stay in the possession of the Vikings. Baseline out of bounds play. Deflection there off Paulus, goes out of bounds. Dogs are going to retain possession. Jenna's going to get us set in our offense. Into Shannon, the high post, back to Jenna. Back out to Ava, and they're going to call a foul on Miami East. That'll be their first foul of the quarter. Those of you that aren't aware, there's been a pretty big rule change in high school basketball and junior high basketball. Jenna up and good for 2. Team fouls are reset every quarter. So there's no 1-and-1 bonus anymore. The bonus will be done quarter by quarter. Once you get to 5 team fouls in a quarter, the other team immediately starts shooting two-shot fouls for that. So that is a rule that's been done at the college. The women's game in college is now trickled into the high school game. A lot of mixed emotions on it. So that's why at each quarter you'll see the fouls are reset to 0, like it used to be at the half, but now it's done at the quarter. 5 team fouls per quarter. Once you hit the 5th one, it's a 2-shot foul. 20 seconds, Miami's ball underneath the basket. Looks like Milton will be in man-to-man defense. Down to 10 seconds. They're going to call foul there on Ava, and that's probably going to end the game. Final score here in Casstown, Miami's 50, Milton-Union 12. Definitely, I'm sure, a frustrating day for the Dogs, but they'll recover. We'll get back into action, and I'll tell you where that will be if you give me just 2 seconds. Oh, sorry, I'm on the boys' side. I can tell you when our next game is. Our next game for the girls is Monday at Twin Valley South and Saturday at Bethel. So that's the girls next week. They're Monday. Both games are on the road. They're at Twin Valley South on Monday and at Bethel for another TRC game on Saturday the 16th. So thanks for tuning in today, and have a safe and warm weekend.